Hey, what's up, Catboy? How you doing? Give me just a second. I am posting the link. Okay, yeah, cool. Everything is up. Give me just a minute, Catboy. I need to give this hard drive to someone. I think they're pulling up right now. What did that do? Oh, wow. That goes in the screensaver pretty quick. I guess the screensaver isn't so bad. Well, that's bad. I don't want to have to play every time. I'm not trying to plug ads in. And this is why we test things, I guess. Okay, let's pause that. Let's see what happens. Maybe I just use the screensaver for a background. But yeah, what's up with you, Catboy? I'm gonna have to walk away here in a second once I know that this guy's at my door waiting for his hard drive. But wow, that thing is bright enough that it still reflects off of that. That's interesting. That is intense. That almost defeats the point of it, but oh well. Let's see. Now this card that's pulling up is probably him. So this is the list that we made on Monday. We can start going through it and pick them out one at a time, or I can roll for them like we did last week. But give me just a moment because that is, in fact, who I am waiting on. So I'll be right back, but feel free to think about some of those options. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Actually, let me grab my headphones real quick. I don't need to go BRB for that, though. Actually, I'll walk right back. Sorry about that, cat boy. I apologize. Today has been kind of a weird day. Not in a bad way, just like a lot of different things going on. Not to mention the episode or session that I ran yesterday. Um, so yeah, just a lot of different stuff going on. So trying to get everything back in its proper place and get back into the swing of things. But I hope you're doing well. It is hot as sin is in here. So we'll see. I might turn the fan on low if it's not too obnoxious. Let me know here in a second how bad it is. Because 4 hours in this is, I don't know if that's going to be reasonable. Oh yeah, that already feels 80 million times better. Alright. Let me know if that fan is super loud, Catboy, when you get a chance. I have it on the lowest setting, so. An extraordinary slow week at work. So is that a good thing or a bad thing for you? Just because I know that obviously tips are kind of a lot of your money, but obviously it can be nice to take a break. It's not super loud? Okay, good. Good. That is bearable. Let's see. But yeah, seems like it's just me and you at this point, which is cool. We'll go ahead and get some stuff done. A couple of announcements for posterity's sake is we once again recorded a session of D&D yesterday, so that was pretty fun. Don't roast me for wearing the same shirt in the video yesterday that I'm wearing today. I did wash it. I had to go to a Mexican themed baby shower and I wanted a chance to wear it twice, so I wore it 2 days in a row. It was washed though, so but regardless, we recorded the episode. I think it went really well, both in terms of the session itself and the recording. There are probably going to be some parts in it where there's camera issues and audio issues, which are nothing new for us here at Aiden's Archive. And yeah, I mean, kind of to be expected because we were working with 4 cameras instead of 1, with dice rolling and everything else going on. But some good role-playing moments. I thought that everyone did a good job of not freaking out with the cameras on. So we'll see how it ends up, and maybe we'll do it again in the future. So outside of that, next week will be not a weird week, but there will be no stream on Saturday. I'm in my last, 8 weeks of school, but I have a big project due on Sunday next week. Then Saturday is probably going to be the only day that I can dedicate that night to put a good amount of time into it. So I need to not stream that day so I can work on the project and get that in time. Plus, my part-time job decided they were going to schedule me on that Saturday, which means I can't do it during the day. But anyways, luck of the dice. Afterwards, we are getting to the point. We've made a lot of content on this stream, which is a good thing. A lot of good usable content. But the initial goal of this stream, right, when I first told myself I was going to do it, was to make sure that I am writing for my campaign, and seeing where we're kind of tracking in terms of what we're writing. I know that an obstacle is going to come up here in the next few weeks where the majority of my necessary world building, I should say, is already kind of wrapping up because you guys have done such a great job of helping collaborate and build great ideas. And I obviously want to continue that. But the danger that I see approaching is that in 3 months I want to start the campaign and I haven't actually written any of the story elements related specifically to the campaign, outside of the characters that my players are playing, right? I've got lore, gods, world building, lands, history, but not like an actual story to be told, like not a module. Um, so I'm going to need to dedicate time to do that, which is once again the point of the stream. So I'm thinking after next week, starting on Mondays, Mondays will be the day that, kind of in similar fashion to when I was working on the map, those are going to be days where the writing focus is less about being like collaborative. I'll still probably throw up topics that you guys can see and discuss and do that sort of thing, and obviously still engage with you guys. But those days, like my main focus will be on writing content that I can't show you, because if I show it to you, obviously it's going to spoil it for my players, if that makes any sense at all. And then on Wednesdays, because, you know, if we're being totally honest, like we built this whole list in one stream, right? So we're able to churn out content pretty quickly when we're focused on it. So Wednesdays will be the days that I'm focused on the collaborative list, versus Mondays being the day that I'm focused on the like hidden list that I can't show anybody yet. All the things that I need to write and need time to actually put some attention to. And then same as always, Saturdays will just be the deep dive. So Wednesday we'll make the list, Saturday we'll flesh it out, Monday I'll be here engaging with you guys while typing up things that are to be revealed at a later date, if that makes any sense. So, with all that being said, gang, Alyssa Duarte00, welcome to the chat. Thanks for always showing up to say the same 2 words, you know. We appreciate you being here. But that is the update, so without further ado, I will waste no more time. Catboy, if you have a suggestion in terms of any of these items on the list, or maybe even another item that you would like to start with, we certainly can. Otherwise, I'll give it like 2 minutes, and if there's not a suggestion, I'll go ahead and roll the dice. And we'll see. Love saying those 2 words, then disappear. I guess, if that works for you, you know. I don't mind it. I'm not going to trip about it. The fact that you show up and say anything at all makes my day a little bit better. So, even if you disappear right after. That's not too bad. Oh. I always forget I have my headphones in, and then I don't play any music. But yeah, the session was pretty cool. Actually, Catboy, I should mention that Riley did make an appearance. Riley Runeseller did make an appearance in the one-shot. Gonna have to work on the voice. I didn't have a lot of time to practice the voice that I wanted to do, so I feel like my voice was a little all over the place for him, but I thought he was kind of a fun, quirky character to play. So, and he did survive, just to clarify. Not that you had asked yet, but he did survive. It did not kill Riley yet. I love that I'm an NPC now, and you're not only an NPC, you have literally met like 2 of the actual campaign characters, because 2 of my players were playing, like kind of what I'm doing is I'm doing a series of one-shots, or trying to do a series of one-shots, where the one-shot basically leads in one of my player character stories to the main campaign. So in the first one shot we did in January, one of my players had her character ready to go, so she got to play her character for the first time, and it was basically her story of how she is going to get to the destination that she'll be in when the actual campaign starts. And so this one shot was the same thing for two more of my players. So it's really interesting. I have three more players that I need to try to do the same thing for if I can make it work. I'm not gonna force it, but I just think it's a fun little idea. But yeah, so literally, canonically, when we start the campaign and they play those characters, two of them will already know. Riley. Oh, are my headphones not plugged in? Oh, that's right. I can't plug it into the dock. Stupid me. I think that was short enough where I won't get a copyright strike. Don't sue me, Radiohead, please. I have no money. Please don't take what little I have. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and spin it. Let's see. Who is... just do a wheel spin, or... How many items do we have on here? I guess is the question. No, we don't need to do that. 26. Okay. Just a minute to pull up the custom dice roller. I'm gonna roll a 26-sided dice. Can you imagine? Okay, and 3, 2, 1, 7. Lucky number 7, right out the gate. Hey, okay. So right out the jump, we have the one-legged Goblin Chieftain as the first villain or kind of interesting character that we get to work on today. So let's see. Alright. A one-legged Goblin Chieftain. I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind was like Captain Hook. Like, he didn't necessarily have to be like a pirate captain, but like maybe the backstory is something similar. In that he lost his leg to something. Choose insert random monster that's typically more powerful than a goblin. And so, like, that's the only thing that he's afraid of. That's now chasing him? Yeah, I would imagine. Or maybe it's not, and he's just paranoid as fuck that it is. You know? I guess it depends on the creature. What's up, Ron Roscoe? It's been a little bit, man. Hope you're doing alright. It is good to see you for sure. Hopefully, I will have a D&D video for you guys to check out here in the next few days. But, we were just in time because we started on our first villain. So, We are deep diving villains and kind of interesting monsters this week, which was actually your suggestion. So the first one on the docket for tonight is a one-legged Goblin Chieftain. So, me and Cowboy were just talking about, I kind of imagine a Captain Hook-esque character where maybe early on in life or before he was a chieftain even, he encounters some creature that maybe eats his leg and then either is still hunting / chasing him or is not, because I would imagine as a chieftain maybe they're not moving around so much. Who knows? We can decide on that. But whichever way we go, he's going to be very paranoid about it. Let's see. Yeah, just crazy slammed with stuff, commuting back to work, and it's 5 to 6 hours a day. Hey man, no worries. Glad you could make it tonight, but as I've always said, feel no pressure. If you got stuff going on, take care of other stuff first. You could the funny route and have the creature be something like a sheep. Yeah, you could. You definitely could. But a sheep eating his leg, though? That's so random. I'm trying to think. Like, maybe he... Once again, perception is everything. So, like, maybe he thinks a sheep or something else ate his leg, or he found a sheep eating his leg. But... So maybe it's not so much that something's hunting him, he's just afraid. Huh. What would be powerful enough to yeet a goblin's leg off very easily, but then wouldn't kill the goblin? You know what I mean? Because what I'm imagining is like maybe something takes this goblin's leg out, but then like doesn't, for whatever reason doesn't finish the job. The goblin passes out because obviously having your leg fucking yeeted off kind of hurts. And then when it's all said and done and he wakes up, whatever creature he sees is what he assumes did it to him. Mimic? But wouldn't a mimic finish the job? A bunch of things? That's what I'm saying though. Like, there are definitely plenty of things that could take a goblin leg off. That's for sure. But that wouldn't just eat the goblin or kill the goblin. Now, if he ate the leg off and the goblin escaped, so he's paranoid of everything. I think it's more of a like. I feel like it would be more like he's paranoid to a specific situation, or you go the funny route of it's something ridiculous, like you take the paranoia away, but it's something ridiculous that was the cause, and then he just straight up lies about it. That's another route we could go. But yeah, maybe he only survived because his leg came off. Okay, that's another interesting thought. Like, whatever that movie with James Franco is. Is it James Franco who's in that movie? Where the fucking rock falls on his arm? Oh, I got something. Let me know. I'm all ears. Side question, what do we name this Goblin Chieftain? Because I want the backstory to be funny, but I also want him to be like a threatening villain. I don't want him to seem like a pushover goblin, because that's like the default. Everyone does a goblin who's just gonna end up being a pushover. I want this dude to be like. I want him to be, I want him to be a beast. He actually lost his leg because another goblin accidentally shot him in the leg, but he tells everyone a dragon ate it. Okay. Okay. I'm good with that. He lost his leg because another goblin accidentally shot it. Is the other goblin still alive? Damn, that's fucking... Yeah, because that's, you know... Hmm. No, he shot the chieftain. Well, maybe he wasn't the chieftain yet. Okay. Here's an alternate that I'm thinking of. It's pretty fucking stupid, though. You think he wouldn't retaliate when he became chieftain? Maybe. He probably would. It just depends. But yeah, on average, yeah, probably he's gonna kill the guy. So what if instead of he lies about a dragon? Well, I guess he'd still be lying. What if he actually killed the dragon though? And that's how he became chieftain. And he says the dragon ate it, but really what happened is, and you know, I guess the backstory of the dragon doesn't matter too much, but maybe there was a dragon flying in the air that was already like critically wounded from like a battle with an actual, you know, powerful person, like some hero. Like just imagine that the happenstance of this goblin sees a fucking wounded dragon flying from the sky, pulls out his short bow, takes a shot, lands it somehow, and the dragon falls from the sky and lands on the fucking goblin's leg. Right? Or like lands on enough of him because it wouldn't take much of a dragon to just like crush down on a goblin where he could not get the leg out. So he had no choice but to cut it off. But now he's a dragon slayer. And because he's a dragon slayer, everyone else in that goblin village is gonna, you know, like obviously, rightfully so, is gonna think that this dude is the shit. And that's how he gets ascended to chieftain. So, I actually love that. I like that too. Because it's like, it doesn't mean that the guy couldn't be badass, right? Like for a low level party, right? But when you add the scale factor of a dragon, obviously, you know, no matter how powerful we make this goblin, he's not fucking with a dragon, right? That's not the intention. But just the happenstance. Just the duality of luck. Luckily, he killed the dragon, but unluckily, the dragon fucking took his leg. You can't say a dragon fell on you and you lost a leg. So you just gotta say he ate it. Okay, I'm down for that. We need a name, so I'm gonna take this out. But think of names for this goblin chieftain. Let's see. be interesting too is because they're gonna have basically a whole ass dragon right there. And I was considering using dragon grafters in the campaign. Like, so basically people who use rituals to use parts of dragons to meld with their own bodies. So maybe they do some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. Destroying the Scale Reaver. I like the title, yeah. The Scale Reaver. Ooh. I wonder what race he is. What a mystery. Yeah, human, of course. Alright. That's a backstory right there. If I've ever heard of one. Aren't all characters human, or is that just PCs? Pretty sure it's, well, no, wait, what? Well, I guess they are all human in a way. What a long day. That's a good backstory, though. I like that shit. I fucks with that. What am I looking for? Alright, there we go. So we've got a name. We've got a backstory. But what does this character... Stroing? Is that what we're calling him? Is that how you pronounce it? Stroing? Yeah. What a name, Stroing. You know, one more letter and that word could be very different in a lot of ways. Destroying the Scale Reaver. What a name. But what do you do after you become Goblin Chieftain? What's the next step? He wants to prove his tribe to be greater than all the tall peoples. Okay. Including other goblinoids. What color dragon do we think they took down? Chromatic dragon. So either red, blue, green, black, or white. I haven't decided if I'm going to use metallic dragons in the campaign or not, is why. I think we talked about the dragon types before in terms of they're not actually 1-to-1 in terms of the um, elemental schemes. And honestly, I've never been a big fan that you can tell a dragon's alignment based on, not to sound silly, the color of its skin. But like literally, if it's golden instead of red, you know it's at least typically good versus evil. That's a stigma that I want to try to get away from, especially because I have some tenured players who will you know, inherently metagame because of it. But then it's also like, what's the point? Why do I need 10 colors of dragon? Color of its scales. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I haven't decided if I'm just going to completely axe them, but I am definitely going to like make it clear throughout the story that the color of the scales does not actually indicate the alignment of the creature. There will be good red dragons and bad red dragons and everything in between good and bad. Just as an example. I do too. But more so, I guess the question that I'm asking is because, ultimately if I use metallic, I could always change it to a metallic dragon if we so desire, right? And outside of the... Yeah, and I guess as always, this could be used outside of my campaign setting. There's no reason this can't be used in like Faerun even. So I guess more so what I'm asking is what elemental affinity do we think the dragon had? Because that's more so what I'm trying to get to is, do we think it had fire, cold, acid, poison, or lightning, I guess. Feel it makes no sense for every member of a sentient race to be good or evil. I agree. It makes no sense to me. And plus there's like so many middles between like straight up good or straight up evil. So many middle steps you could go. But having, that dichotomy of metallic equals good, chromatic equals evil. So like I said, mostly just makes it really hard for players not to metagame because that's a hard thing to just like pretend, oh, it's a red dragon? I bet he might be a good guy. He's probably not gonna fuck me up. Unless there are magical god-related reasons. Yeah, that's fair. That's different. To a certain extent. So his goal is to be the best, like no one ever was, I think is what you said. Not exactly like that, but I think I might have used those exact words. Yes, yeah. That's what I remember hearing, at least, you know. Whether you said it or not, I don't know. But that's what I heard. Wait, what? What did I just read? No, never mind. Uh, tribes use the scales of the dragon and its other parts to build. If we had to assign a class to this character, what class do we think he would be? Right, because I like the way that I kind of imagine it is like once again from Goblin standards, I don't think this guy was ever a pushover necessarily. Like he wasn't necessarily like the weakest dude in the tribe, but he probably wasn't seen as the strongest guy in the tribe either until he brought back these dragon scales and was able to prove that he had in fact killed a dragon. Um, you know, leaving out all the external details and factors to that. But regardless, I only imagine him getting stronger after becoming the chieftain. But what kind of class would he be? Because I would imagine, once again, I kind of imagine this like goblin dragon hybrid. You know, like wearing dragon armor and weapons and things like that, but being this like little goblin with one leg. Also, how does he circumvent the disadvantages of having one leg? You know, it's a hard thing to do. Walk around with one leg. I know we have it on the dock. Well, yeah, true peg leg. Duh. Come on now. Forgive my stupidity. Ooh. Fuck. His peg leg can literally be a fucking, like, a dragon claw. Like, imagine this big ass dragon. Because, yeah, like, depending on the size of the dragon, in actuality, you could. A claw is, like, significantly, like, multiple. Well, actually, I guess it really just is depending on the size. But either way, it's going to be much bigger than a goblin. But you could, like, file it down. You even mentioned Captain Hookman. Hey. Alright? Like I said, it's been a long day. Leave me alone. Alright? I wasn't thinking about his peg leg. I was thinking about the fact that that crocodile ate his leg. So. Peg leg. But I like the idea of it being like either a dragon scale or dragon tooth or dragon claw, peg leg. So like, yeah, like that's what I was literally about to say the same thing, Catboy. Is like, imagine he fucking kicks somebody with a fucking dragon tooth or a dragon claw. It is canon. Hmm. I don't need that extra A. That's cool. Huh. I like this character. Could make him a bit more special combat-wise by giving him a touch of the dragon's elemental power through the claw. Yeah, I was actually thinking about how to do like the elemental power specifically, because I remember we had talked before on a previous stream about like one of the parts in the throat that actually like stores the dragon's breath weapon. Now that's probably a little too ridiculous to give a goblin a breath weapon, but yeah, there definitely have to be some kind of interplay there, and that's why I was asking what you guys thought would be the most appropriate elemental affinity to give the dragon. So that can maybe influence what way they use said element once they have the dragon scales and claws and all of that good stuff. Let's see something. Acid. Okay. Is the chat box working? Oh, or am I just not seeing where it's coming in? Oh, let me not do that. Oh, okay. There it is. Making sure the chat box on the stream is working. It is working just fine. Acid. You know what? Acid's a black dragon. Now, what do we want to name this dragon? Let me see. Let me go back to our doc, because I think we were also talking about dragon names. Ooh. Jordan. What a bunch of troll names. A couple of good ones. But mostly troll names. Oh. Zeth and Seth. Yeah, I don't think we're naming the dragon either Zeth or Seth. Yeah, could you imagine? Called the Dragon Jordan. May as well just fucking call it Franklin at that point. Leonard. Kenny. Just random fucking names. Oh, it's already been an hour. Okay. That's cool. Well, we can always pick a dragon name. As far as class, I'd probably just say fighter generically for now. That can always be changed later. The fearsome dragon Bob is terrorizing the village. Oh no. R.I.P. village. The dragon's name is Bob the Builder, and he's not here to fix it. Let's see. Okay. I think it's good enough. Obviously, if we have other points that we come up with, we can add it. We don't necessarily need a dragon name right this second. So I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and then we can go ahead and pick the next one. So I'm gonna tab back over. Let me see. But to fix it, he must first burn it down. Yeah, he's gotta break it to fix it. Let's highlight that. No, it's up. Well, I guess I could. Let me see if I can get all these in one frame. Can I? Not quite. I mean, that's pretty much all of them. Okay, we'll just do all but number one. Alright, so I'm gonna leave the list up. Normally I would hit the be right back button, but I want you guys to have the chance to look at the list. So I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. And then when I come back, if you guys have one you want to work on, great. If not, then I'll just roll the dice again. BRB. Hello, everybody. I am back. Hopefully, that was enough time to take a good look at the list. I was I was taking my time for you guys. Didn't want to rush you. Welcome to the chat, personalities. How are you doing? What it do? The chair's taken out. Aiden is now hosting the stream. I bet the chair could do a good job of hosting the stream. You guys don't even need me here. No Name of the Wasteland next. Got it. Where the fuck are you at? Why do I not see you? There was more interaction from the chair than you? Fuck off. What the hell? Oh, blank of the wasteland. That's why I can't find it. Because it's literally blank. Okay. Surprisingly creative. What did the chair come up with while I was gone? Spill the deets. So I guess this TV just turns off if you pause it for too long. Which is, I guess that's fine. The black screen and the other one were basically the same thing. Oh well. The chair is Dungeon Daddy. Whatever, personalities. I see you came to talk shit tonight. Let's see. Alright, so obviously the first thing we gotta establish is... What the fuck is this thing? It was describing this whole group of villains. I can't quite recall the details, sadly. What you working on? We're working on villains, either individuals or groups, as well as like interesting creatures that can basically fill in the role of a villain or an antagonist for your party personalities. I kind of like auto type that. We don't necessarily need a name, but if it ends up being a group, maybe we'll have a name for the group leader. But let me reference the map real quick. Because there is a pretty perfect area to call, like, I don't know that I'll call it the Wasteland, but obviously the Wasteland could be a nickname for this area of the world. I guess I need to open Chrome if I'm going to use Incarnate. Actually, no, I have the file saved on my computer now. Yeah, there's an area that's mostly desert and wasteland known as the Land of the Lost. That's the temporary name, at least. So you think the Scale Reaver would be an archer primarily? Not necessarily primarily. Well, not necessarily primarily. Sincerely. Um, yeah, I don't think he would be an archer primarily per se, but I think it makes sense that he would have used a bow and arrow. And typically goblins would have like a short sword and a short bow as their default like weapons. So after slaying the dragon, I think it's pretty open in terms of like what direction he could go. So, but I'm not opposed to him being an archer. But for this Blank of the Wasteland group, I imagine that they would go in this area, the Land of the Lost, which is it is a very harsh place to live. It is like basically a completely lawless zone. So this could be like a group of raiders or um, bandits or just, a group of misfits. Absolutely. I mean, in this world, pretty much everyone is a misfit by default, you know? The group that you guys played as last night were definitely a group of misfits, that's for sure. So, I feel like everyone's a misfit in this D&D campaign. Become drug lords? What kind of drug are they doing out in the deserts like that? And yes, Cowboy, you're absolutely right. It is most parties or party members are misfits for sure. Trying to see if I don't know. Cactus juice. Hell yeah. Wait, is cactus juice a drug? I feel like I've seen something before where people tripped off some kind of juice. It's probably Avatar Last Airbender, I think, is what I'm thinking of, though. What was the name of the drug that you called in the last campaign? That was Refrain. That was a reference to the anime Code Geass, though. So. So I would probably not use that. But I do kind of like the idea of maybe there is a substance that grows in this area, and this is like the cartel that controls that drug. I do like that idea. I don't know what drug it is or what we're going to call it, but I do like the cartel idea. But what would the name be? And obviously, even though Blank of the Wasteland is our template, that should be fairly changeable. If we need to change it, let's just change it. But let me go ahead and pull back up the OneNote. So yeah. Whatever this substance is basically native to the region that they're operating out of. So maybe it can be reproduced somewhere else, but not to the same degree that it can be produced here. So they basically have a monopoly on it. Well, I'm thinking though. Blank of the wasteland. What of the wasteland? Disney. Damn. Angels? Angels of the Wasteland. Oof. Yeah, I kind of like that actually. It's another word for angels. I feel like angels is close. Let's see. Let me look it up. Like, I feel like angels is right, but I feel like there's maybe a word that's similar that would just take it like to the next level. But maybe not. I get that feeling a lot. But then I hardly ever find the word that I'm looking for. Ooh. What about saints? What do you think, Catboy? I'm on the fence. I think saints or angels sounds better in this instance. Hope I learn to get over myself. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have listened to Adele's new album. But that shit, well, I guess it's not new anymore. It's been out for a while. That shit is fire. Los Angeles sounds like a good gang name. Which one sounds like a good gang name? From people I don't even know. Saints. Cool. No, we'll do that then. All right. Well, I guess the next question now is, what's our fantasy drug going to be? Let's go Breaking Bad on this shit. I like the idea of this drug like maybe having some kind of not necessarily magical property, or I guess maybe that's the best way to put it, but having some kind of magical tie to it. But I don't know. I don't really make a lot of drugs, believe it or not. So I don't have much experience. I also don't take a lot of drugs. So this is a challenging one. I am open to suggestions though. If anyone has ideas for fantasy drugs, now's the time. I know this is the content you've all been waiting for. As fucking That'll be the topic for next week. Is let's make fantasy drugs. Maybe that could be a good topic though. Not like drugs specifically, but we could make like potions and brews and like homebrew some substances. I think we'll do that next week. So there you go. Monday's topic. We just came up with it. We will actually craft drugs potentially, but also potions and pots and salves or salves. Is that how you say it? Salves. It's not slaves. I know that. Damn. Like what do we don't even have to necessarily start with the name of the drug, but what do we think this drug that these saints of the wasteland are giving out? Because once again, the situation there is pretty rough. So anyone who's living there probably is not living a great life. But not only would they probably take the drugs there locally, but I'm sure there would be some exporting of said drug out of it. Ooh. Call it God Tears. I like that. I like that. God Tears. Huh. Okay, so what if... So, I like the idea of, like, you know, obviously drugs in general should have some type of beneficial property to consuming the substance. So, like, what if the beneficial property is that it somehow enhances your magical capability for a certain amount of time? But, the but being that there's some kind of trade off or negative effect from the drug as well. It's a clear liquid that makes you have visions and see the world as it truly is. What does truly is mean? Like, I definitely think it should have, like, a psychedelic portion to it. But it would be cool if it has that, has some kind of positive effect, like boosting magical abilities for a certain amount of time, and then, like, has a super negative long-term effect, right? Like, obviously, it's probably very addictive, or maybe it drains your magical ability for a certain amount of time as well after the initial boost. There's a reason for the quote marks. No, I knew that, but I wanted you to clarify. I wanted to see what your definition was. Junior's account, welcome to the chat. Starting off with a link. I like it. Let's see what it is. Let me pause this Spotify video. I'm watching it right now. Yeah, it looks like a pretty good movie. So the downside is you don't know what's real or not. Because it sounded like that dude was taking the drug for a good minute. Imagine being convinced your whole life was a simulation. What would you do if you found out your whole life was a simulation? What's the first thing you're gonna do? Bro, stop. Kill myself. Yikes. I mean, even if you found out it was a simulation, would it really change anything? Assuming you don't get more control of the simulation. Yeah. Find the dev controls. Now that's the correct answer. Take control of the simulation. Hack into the mainframe. Why should I need to work my simulated life away? I don't know. Assuming you couldn't get the dev controls, what would be the difference between knowing that your life is real and a simulation? Does it change anything? If you knew at the end of it all that we were all just ones and zeros, would it really change much? For some people it might. Most people not really. Yeah. Is at the end of the day, unless your life was already pretty completely meaningless and you're already on that edge, it doesn't change, that there are other simulations in this simulated world that you would still love and care for, whether your feelings were quote unquote real or not. So I mean, it's like D&D, Is any of the stuff that we're writing right now real? Absolutely not. Not by the literal definition, at least. But it does not stop us. And here we are. Certain period of time. drug is very addictive and creates a sense of detachment from the world, makes it hard to tell if life is actually real. Cool. Great thing about making them a drug cartel is they don't have to be presented in an all-around villainous way. Yeah, for sure. What I like about it, especially because of their location too, is that conflict can be like them being a drug cartel means that conflict can be caused by them without them even being directly involved in the conflict. Meaning that as the primary supplier of this drug, maybe they run into characters on the other side of the world who have become addicted to the substance and their lives are ruined by it, right? Or they, you know, this cartel is a supplier for another villain who ends up coming into conflict with the party, right? And so it's one of those things that can have like the slow burn of being referenced or them seeing some of the effects of what they do throughout the world, but not necessarily interacting with them directly at all, or even if they do, it would happen after quite some time. So I like that for sure. Hmm. But what do we call this drug? It's gotta have a name. You can't just call it the good stuff. I guess we could, but... Oh, excuse me, I said, I guess we could, but let's not. Oh, sorry. You're right, we did agree on God's tier. Damn. I really am tired then. I'm forgetting stuff like that from fucking 10 minutes ago already. I apologize, Catboy. Okay, so... Yeah, I like the name. I think it's really good. I straight up just like blanked on it after 5-10 minutes. So that's my fault for sure. It fits with the gang, same as fun. Yeah, it goes well with Saints of the Wasteland. I mean, obviously their motivations could be a little bit more complex than the obvious, but they don't need to be, right? Wealth, power, them being in such a remote part of the world, having wealth and power at all means that they're going to have a certain level of dominance over the people who live in this area. So, sometimes simple is the best way to go. obviously name, race, class don't matter. I'll go ahead and move on to the next one, just so we can keep it rolling. I'm probably gonna cut the stream at 11 tonight instead of midnight, just because the fact that I actually forgot that, like not even like just mind blank, I straight up forgot what happened 10 minutes ago, means I'm probably too tired to be staying up super late tonight. So I'm gonna keep it moving. If anyone thinks of a good name for what would be effectively the leader of Saints of the Wasteland, definitely still throw out those suggestions though. But otherwise, I'll tab out. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be all right. I just worked all week and then came home and ran a D&D session until 2 a.m. Yesterday. So I didn't sleep a lot today because I had to get up and start prepping my tax stuff because I got to file my taxes. And then had, a bunch of different things that I had to do today. So I just haven't really stopped since yesterday. But no big deal. Tomorrow is Easter, so I don't have work. So I just need to catch up on sleep mostly. You're a little late, aren't you? What do you mean I'm a little late? World domination, a gang needs a leader. Oh, on taxes? Yeah, I mean, technically I have till the 18th. But I didn't feel like filing them, to be honest. Normally I do mine super early, but I don't really, I don't expect to get a refund. If anything, I expect to owe money. So I'd rather owe money up until the last possible minute. I don't expect it to be a lot, but I don't expect to get anything back. So, Eisen. Eisen is actually one of the god names, so probably wouldn't use it here. But Eisen is a great name. But yes, I am definitely behind on my taxes. Do not recommend being like me and filing your taxes. Wait, what do you mean fuck Eisen? He's not terrible. How is Eisen terrible? He's a great character. I assume you're talking about Bleach. So I'll leave the list up for a couple minutes. If anyone wants to select the next option as well. I am indeed. What did Eisen do to you? One of mine then? No, I assume you mean one of the options from the list. Berrigan? What does Berrigan mean? I assume you mean as a name, but where is Berrigan from? What are you referencing with that name? Or is that just an original name that came to your mind? He killed my fish. Well, fuck that guy then. But when did Eisen kill a fish? Look this up. He didn't? Oh, okay. Well, that's embarrassing. Not me Googling Aizen kills a fish. The name of the leader is Turtle. Was that turtle in Spanish? Or more just like the whole set of arcs that led up to his defeat, which I watched because I wanted to see said defeat. Yeah, I think Aizen was great personally though, like as an individual character. Now, everything else around him could be considered questionable. I definitely think that what probably happened is a combination of the writer like doing a poor job understanding like what they had kind of set up for themselves in terms of how powerful they made Aizen. Because literally having the ability of if you see my sword, I can control your mind at any time. That's busted as fuck. But yeah, like he was basically made into like an unstoppable force. And then I also like I genuinely think based on the pacing of the story after the Aizen arcs that there was never an intention for Aizen not to be the final villain. So, which I think the ending would have been fine to Bleach, right? Like if it had been the only way that you're going to overcome this insurmountable odd is for Ichigo to give up his powers, not be able to see Rukia anymore, and like the story ends there and he just goes back to being a normal dude. He gives up everything that he's earned up to this point to save everything, and he'll never be able to see the fruits of his labor realistically. That would have been a cool ending. But Shonen Jump was probably like, yeah, man, you're in the big three now. You're number three on the charts for popular anime serializations or manga serializations. So let's just keep that one coming. Let's see. Agreed, Homeboy was undefeatable. Then he just decided, you know what? I'm just too OP. I'm not going to use my full power and lost. No, it wasn't even. He said it's not that he even wasn't using his full power. It's that so I watched those series of episodes so many times because it's so fucking good. But literally, what it is the Hogyoku. So basically, the vessel of God that's like fueling Aizen effectively, right? It the way Aizen thinks it's working is it's literally saying that he's reached such a power level that the use of a Bankai is like irrelevant. So why do you need it? So the power, the jewel basically says you don't fucking need the sword, so I'm just gonna disintegrate it away. It wasn't that he was choosing necessarily not to use it. You know what else would have been good if the anime hadn't had a full filler arc in the middle of a fight. Yeah, but you see, the thing with that is that was not an acceptable practice back in the day for animes to do like what Attack on Titan and like My Hero Academia do, right? Being like the two other like super huge, super popular series now. I don't know if My Hero ever really achieved what One Piece, Bleach, or Naruto did, but who knows? I'm biased, so I can't say for sure. But one thing that is definitely better about like My Hero as an example, and I know it's a complete tangent, viewers. If any of you guys don't watch anime, I apologize. But one thing that My Hero did very differently from other shonen is that they have breaks. Like they took a break. They said you can have a season of a show. That was not a concept in Naruto or Bleach. They went on indefinitely. The only time episodes got skipped were for like holidays in Japan. You wouldn't have an episode drop. That's basically it. Junior's Count says, "Oh, I don't remember that." If you didn't read the manga, or well, no, I mean the fillers were pretty obvious in Bleach, and honestly, the fillers were fucking dog shit in Bleach. Not that they were any better in Naruto, but I don't have a problem with that. Hold on, hold that thought. Junior's Count. I guess there's not an easy clip. Fuck it. Damn. Yeah. If you click that link, Junior's account, and you go to about 8 minutes and 20 seconds, you'll see what I'm talking about. The fucking music in this episode, though. Down, what a fucking scene. Oh man, Bleach had so many flaws, but goddamn, that final fight with Aizen was sick. Oh well. Alright. That's enough anime talk for tonight. Let's go ahead and pick out yeah, that concept was cool. Have I seen the live action movie? I have not seen the live action movie. And I cannot say that I would be optimistic to see a live action version of most anime, Bleach included. It's not bad, but is it good? Right? That's the real question. That's not the live action FMA movie. I haven't even watched it. Let's see. If anyone wants to pick the next one, otherwise I'm going to go ahead and roll it here in a second. We got a little sidetracked, which there's no problem with. I enjoyed that little tangent very much. Don't, it's bad. Alright, I will not. I don't agree with you, Jordan. I do see where you're coming from, Jordan. I would like to talk more about this IRL. I'm not sure what you mean. What are you not agreeing with, but also seeing where I'm coming from? But yeah, man, we can always talk about it IRL. Bleach one is fairly good. You'll find out IRL. Are you saying you don't believe Aizen was using his full power? The God Seekers? Okay, let's do it. I don't know, Junior's account. I think that's kind of hard to gauge, considering that Ichigo is obviously kind of wiping the floor with him when it finally counted, but Aizen was also theoretically consistently ascending in power level. So, by the time that he needed to use his full power to have a chance in a fight, I think Ichigo had basically surpassed him. He doesn't really understand it 100%. Of course not. Otherwise, the whole plan wouldn't have worked. They wouldn't have been able to seal him if he truly understood how the Hogyoku was going to react. Let's see. Hold on a second. I believe he was wrong at why the sword was disintegrating. That's... I mean, that's a fair guess. Like, I'm not going to say that you're right or wrong. Like, it's just as plausible that he was wrong as he was right, but there's no way to know. Outside of the author literally saying one way or another. But, yeah, it's definitely... there they go. The God Seekers. Alright, who do we think the God Seekers are? This one's obviously a group. Yep, I agree. And the name would kind of imply that their goal is rather straightforward. But what do we mean when we say to find God slash gods? What do we think that means to the God seekers? Because they could just go to church. They seek to ascend to godhood. Okay. Okay. So I would think in in that case, I would think that the group sizing would be pretty limited or specific. Reason being, well, I guess you could look at it one of two ways. But I imagine if I were to, like, think I know how to ascend to godhood, I'm not going to go around just inviting anyone to be a part of this group that ascends to godhood. So I would think it's probably, like, normally it's either going to be one person because they want all the power to themselves, or a small group that they either feel that they can trust each other or they need each other's assistance in order to make their plans work. So what would make the most sense in my setting, thinking about it, is for it to be 7, because then the goal of the God Seekers is not necessarily even the seeking of God specifically, but to ascend and replace the gods that should already exist in the world. But that number might be different in a different campaign setting. Hey, what a coincidence. My original concept, I had 7 members. They were each a mage focusing on a specific school of magic. I mean, that's very close, right? So we could probably just put both, because the way that I'd probably run it in my game is tailor that. So instead of being a mage focusing on a school of magic, these mages are looking to replace the 7 existing gods. But what a coincidence. Huh. Yeah. Very different reasons to get to the same exact number. That is pretty funny. Hmm. In my first campaign world, they emulated a group of ancient wizards who founded a powerful magical city. This group was composed of a wizard of each of the original subclasses. That's cool. Yeah, I do like the idea of having just like, I don't know. I feel like when you see most wizards in D&D, they fall into like the same stereotypical traps. Wizard is a very flexible class, so having like 7 just like very unique and different styles of wizard that all have the same goal, that would be cool. Like in my case, maybe instead of specifically being the uh, the different schools, maybe their focus would be on like the domain of the god in question. So like the one that wants to replace the goddess of light, Oriana, would focus on light-based magics, you know. And maybe I'll even go as far as to homebrew a few spells, or find a few homebrewed spells that fit the theme. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? God damn. I wish I had money. Jesus Christ. The last sentence is also fitting with the original group. One of the members is actually a good person, coerced to join because of her power. I gotcha. So not each individual has to be as bad as the others. Is it even worth going to a concert if you're gonna sit that far back? Maybe. I saw that Elton John's coming to Texas, or coming to Houston, I should say. I looked at those front row seats. Hell yeah, $1,000. Hell no. Oh, actually, excuse me. Uh, $4,000. Fuck that. The PC's joined up with her to help rescue her son. Ooh. I mean, what shitheads? Why would they steal her son just to try to make her... It's fucked up. Let's find someone else with good magic. Fuck, that's getting into car prices? Yeah. Huh. It really is. You could actually buy a car for that much. Not a new car, maybe. But a car nonetheless. They failed. He was already turned into a magically obedient servant. Well, fuck. One time. That's kind of fucked up. Pay a little more than that for my car. There's nothing wrong with that. The cheaper the better, honestly. Cars are... Paying for an expensive car is completely unnecessary. Now, that being said, if I got the money, I might get a nice car, but we'll see. But once I have a car, I'm going to drive it until I can't. I could never see myself being one of those guys with like just several cars for no reason. At most two. And it's like if I wanted a truck or an SUV for the kiddos, you know, whenever I have kids, if I have kids. But I'm not trying to do that anytime soon. I basically have enough kids as it is between my friends and D&D players and co-workers. Sometimes I like to throw in things that are pretty fucked up. What do you mean? What do you throw in that's pretty fucked up? What are you doing, man? How powerful do we think these wizards are at the start of a campaign, I should say? They might scale up with time over the course of one, but nope. Give me an example, Catboy. Or were you referring to the kid being brainwashed thing? Oh. Let's see. Well, I introduced mostly one by one, scaling them by when they appeared. Makes sense. I guess the way I would, to rephrase it, so the first time you introduce them, you think this is a group that when you introduce them, at least in the first few instances, they're substantially more powerful than the party, on the same level, or weaker than the party. I guess if you're taking them seriously, it's probably going to be the former, but I guess it doesn't really happen the other way a lot, where you have a character that starts off much weaker than your party members, but through a bit of luck and ingenuity, the creature grows to be even stronger than your party members are, at least on an individual level. I did that a couple of times. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Each of them should prove a challenge for the party early on. I think that's fair. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. If they don't gain power as rapidly as the party. It makes sense. They should start off more powerful. I was just kind of wanted to see what your thought process was. You know, if you have a group called the God Seekers and they aren't at least a little bit more powerful than your party at the jump, they're probably not gonna do too well. What is this? Yeah, it makes sense. Who is... So you know what I like about Goliaths? No, but I'm sure you're about to tell me. What do you love about Goliaths? Okay. Okay. I know it's a little early. I hate to do it, but I feel like shit. And I need to get some sleep. Otherwise, I am going to die tomorrow. So, I found someone that we're going to go ahead and raid. So I can at least share a little bit of love while I'm live. But, what we'll probably do, I'm thinking... So this week, like I said, there's going to be no stream Saturday because I have a school project that I have to do. Final class. Here we go. And then because of that, we'll probably do Monday. We'll do like potions, brews, salves, drugs, like a bunch of other stuff. And then if we don't have like a huge list, we'll do a deep dive on Wednesday that's a combination of whatever we come up with on Monday and then some more of this villain stuff. Because I like these villain concepts and I definitely want to do more deep dives with this. So we can always reference back to this as well. But I'm just not... I am not mentally here right now. So... Because my brain is 80% asleep. So, with that, let me read off this comment from Catboy. Part of their naming convention includes a nickname assigned to them, which is why one of the Godseekers was named Uthal, twice orphaned Fulga. Okay. I didn't actually know that, but that's good to know. That is a good reason to like Goliaths. I assumed you were going to say something like because they're tall, but your reason is much better. I don't know why Siri just went off. But in any case, let's go ahead and raid. Let's see. First, good timing. Because we're raiding. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see you guys Monday for potions and drugs. So, peace out.